Lin held out the box and said, "This is a third-rank middle-stage gold pill. A first-rate alchemist of the 8th rank of Xuan Yuan created it. It is of the highest quality. It will help Lord greatly increase his strength. It might even allow him to reach the 9th rank." John Mu thought about the fact that this pill is of incredible value. Its power is amazing. It's also of the highest quality. It even puts it on the same scale as a spirit stone. To offer something like this, Mr. Lin must be desperate, Liao Xun asked with a chuckle. "Is it a golden pill? To poison masters, pills have no practical use." The man wanted to reply something, but the guy interrupted him, saying he was offering the following. If he could fulfill what he said next, he would not only cure his son, but also help him get rid of the man he had chosen. Lin replied that he was listening. The guy said it's very simple. He knows that the Lin family is quite influential in Xuanwu, so he wants them to establish a trading platform for their masters here. Lin Rotian grudgingly said that even though the Lin family might not be the last people in this kingdom, but he should be aware that they are not the ones ruling here. He is afraid that many people might express discontent if a trading platform is established, but Liao Xun asked who was he trying to fool. Didn't he poison the golden-tailed lion to become the kingdom's ruler? Let the latter not worry about it. If the latter agreed to cooperate, he could guarantee that even if the Supreme Beast had reached the 9th rank, it wouldn't be such a big problem for the Poison Hall. Lin asked in surprise, "Isn't that a problem?" And he himself thought about the fact that when the lion had made the breakthrough, it had incredibly puzzled him. But now the one was speaking so confidently, it might be possible to realize the original plan. Moreover, Red Lotus City represents the largest trading platform, so why not secure a strong partner? But at the same time, don't mess up the relationship with the authorities. Lin Rutan hid the box about to reply, but then a servant came running shouting to the master that a terrible thing had happened. The one asked what was the matter. The boy replied that it had to do with the third elder. The head asked, "What is this about? Was it not possible to capture the criminals?" The servant said no. He was just brought back. He is badly wounded, unconscious now. The head asked what else. The servant added that someone had been particularly cruel to his lower body. Now the organ is completely non-functional. Ruoshin asked in surprise, "Who did this? Who dared?" He thought about the fact that first his son was beaten and thrown into the cesspool. Now the third elder had been mocked. Had their family suffered more humiliation? The servant said it was brought by people from the royal palace. It was said that the culprit tried to hide in the palace, but was tracked down by a search rat. Then there was a skirmish in which a third elder was injured. They also don't know anything about the guards. As for those responsible for what happened, it was all the work of Liu Cheng, and the culprit was one of his disciples. Lin Ruotian clenched his fist angrily, saying that he dared to injure his son and the third elder. Absolute disrespect to the Lin family. He, Lin Ruotian, would never forgive him. The head wanted to give an order, but another servant came running in to report that Chairman Liu Cheng and his disciple said that they had come here to finally sort things out, get justice, and make them apologize. The head asked angrily, "Apologizing? The one injured his men and demands an apology. He really does not put the Lin family in anything they do." Meanwhile, Zhang Huang stood outside, shouting to the head of the Lin family to come out and carry his apology. Otherwise, let him blame himself. The men nearby asked, "Who is this, daring to raise such a ruckus here? Is he crazy or just sick?" Another asked, "What's going on anyway?" Someone asked an elder what was going on. Another asked, "What does it mean to take over?" Those are two loud words. Lin Ruoshin thought about killing this insolent person. The head told Master Liao that he would need his help. The boy looked at him questioningly. A man said that his son and Prince Fei Xuan of Kungan Kingdom were injured and poisoned by Liu Cheng's disciple. He suspects that the man might be a master of poisons. Therefore, even though he is a rank 9 master, but it is difficult for him to confront the poison master, he hopes that the latter can help with this. But the guy waved his hand, saying that if the guy was a poison master, he'd know about it. It was probably just some imposter that had learned a couple tricks. As long as that one stuck to their arrangement, let him leave such insects to him. Roshan thought about the fact that he didn't know anything about poisons, so this could have been a big problem for him. But now that he had such an ally, he had nothing to worry about. The man thanked the man for his help. The head went outside shouting that they would meet them whoever they were. An hour ago, Zhang was in the library, said that he still hadn't finished the medicine and alchemy books. It would take a little more time, and then he would be able to use the golden page. He thought about the fact that he should help Liu Cheng for now. He told the guy he was listening to him now. Liu Cheng said that in fact his name is not Liu Cheng but Chu Cheng. He is a young master of the Chu family from Tianwu. Mo Yu asked shocked. What about the Chu family? The one that 2 years ago was completely wiped out in one night? And the king asked surprised that someone had survived after all. The guy said yes, he survived. Zhang asked the king if he knew about it. Mo Tingshu seriously said that yes, but there was nothing they could do about it. It was Lin Lan's older sister Lin Lun's personal order. One rank 9 person and the entire family was wiped out overnight. The king added that everyone, children and old people alike, he himself could observe the aftermath. Everyone died instantly. No one survived. Zheng Huang thought about the fact that it was 2 years ago. He was only 15 years old. At 15 years old, to see the death of his dear and dear ones with his own eyes. He can't even imagine the pain in his heart that he has to live with. He asked, why did it happen? Mo Yu angrily said that it was said that Lin Lun had his eyes on Mrs. Chu Ling, but she was unwilling to comply. This made Lin Lun angry, so she did what she did. Zhang asked irritably. It was their fault, but they still dare to blame it on others, even though how many of their innocent people had been killed. Chu Chong fell to his knees, saying that he hoped the master could help him. Zhang grimly told the man not to worry. Now that he had found out about everything, definitely make sure that justice would be served. Mo Yu asked him what he was going to do. Zhang angrily stated that he would help Lu Chun. He didn't care about the rest. Heading for the exit, the guy said that those killed 137 innocent people and should be punished for it. Everyone should know about it. He shouted that his student would not be a whipping boy. Meanwhile at Tianwu Academy, Mo Shueqing shockedly asked what did the man say. Master and Lu Chong went to the Lin family house and had a showdown there. This is Lu Chong's revenge? Meng Tao replied that yes, he did. Master said that he wanted as many people as possible to know what was going on. That's exactly how it was relayed to him. His father did it, so there should be no mistake, the girl asked in surprise, wondering if Lu Chun's enemy was the Lin family. She thought that if that was the case, it was not surprising that he preferred to keep his mouth shut. If she had such an enemy, she wouldn't dare to utter a word. It seemed that being an enemy in the Lin family was worse than being an enemy of an entire kingdom. The girl said she wouldn't do that. They can't stand by when their teacher is in danger. One of the classmates asked what they should do. One boy said it would be nice if they had a plan. They would want to help too. Mo Shueqing said okay, but she really doubts that their strength here will be enough, even though each of them has a certain amount of experience behind them. She hopes that they can find a practical application for it to reach its full potential. The girl added that they owed a huge debt to the master, so they could not leave him alone in the face of danger. They must act now. Meanwhile, at Zhang Huan's residence, Yuan Tao told Zhao Yao that he had good news for her. He also noticed that she had made a breakthrough again. The girl asked in surprise, what was the good news? Wang Yin said, did he get involved in something again? The guy cheerfully declared that it wasn't him this time. That unscrupulous Master Liu seems to be in big trouble. He has a disciple named Lu Chong, whom he has only seen a couple times in his life. He once offended the Lin family even though his family was destroyed. And now this Master Liu is picking a fight with the Lin family to stand up for his disciple. But Zhao Yao fearfully asked, what is the most famous family in Tianwu? The girl thought about the Lin family being incredibly dangerous. Not only is she incredibly strong, but she also has the support of Xuanyuan. It is said that even the royal family doesn't dare to cross her. And who is this Master Liu to make a scene with them? Yuan Tao said that he made a lot of noise there and he also demands an apology. Zheng Yang asked what he was saying. Was it all for the sake of the disciple? Yuan Tao replied that yes. Zhao Yao thought about how the Lin family was so powerful that even they, mere disciples, had heard about it. There's no way Master Liu doesn't know about it. For the sake of a disciple to go this far. Such determination and fortitude. A man with such high teaching ethics. How could he be unreasonable and intentionally biased? Had she misunderstood something from the beginning? The girl said that even though Master Liu was unfair when they fought Mu Shueqing, but to show such fortitude and try to protect his disciple with all his might was definitely a good teacher. Zheng Yang stated that they should see it with their own eyes. A man who wasn't afraid to go against the Lin family for the sake of his disciple. If they just sat here and didn't take any action, they would definitely get punched by Master Zhang. Zhao Yao said correctly. Master Zhang is willing to do anything for them. This Master Liu is also trying his best to protect his disciple. He is a good teacher and they can't just stay away. They have to go and find out what is going on there. Meanwhile, in the Tianwu Palace, the king shouted that this is madness, pure madness. He ordered all the soldiers to assemble and await his instructions. He then told the princess that she would go with him. If the Lin family really decided to attack Master Liu, they should stop them. The princess agreed. At the Lin family's gate, the king looked at the people in surprise. Mo Yu asked, is this the greatest demonic hand, Chen Jianjie? Glancing at the elder, she added that he was a rank 8 peak master. Always so mysterious. He usually doesn't care about what's going on around him. So why is he here? She looked at the other man who was the head of Tianwu Bank. The head of the Calligraphy Association, Meng Yuan, was also there. She was surprised that he had already returned. She then looked at the head of the Alchemist Guild, a 3rd-rank alchemist Hong Yun, and at Alchemist Mu and her daughter. The king asked that had they all been gathered by the Lin family to oppose Chairman Liu. The girl replied that no. Do they only need people to do that? But the king's guard told him that these people were here to help Chairman Liu. The king asked in surprise, what to help? Then he was shocked but asked how could this be? Mo Yu thought that even if the royal family had a showdown with the Lin family, they would never be able to acquire so many assistants. But a 7th-ranked elementary stage grandmaster was capable of it. How? Charisma? It was as if Zhang Huang had a special magic that allowed him to gather people around him. There are more and more of them, and they become stronger and stronger. The girl said that it might be some unique charm of his approach to his disciples. That's when the gate opened. Jianze grudgingly said, "The Lin family is here." Alchemist Mu added that it seemed to be in full force this time. The head of the bank said that a whole delegation had gathered under their door. Who would tolerate something like this? Lin Rotian asked that he was Liu Cheng. The other elder said that he had thought he would see someone incredibly powerful in front of him, but this was just a 7th-rank elementary stage master. And he still dares to come here and inconvenience the Lin family. Is he crazy? Zhang sternly asked which one was the head of the family. But Chu Chong told the master that the one in the center was Lin Rotian. Zhang said great, then added loudly that it was his disciple Chu Chong. 2 years ago their family wiped out his family, all 137 people in one night. Do they have any recollection of it? The head asked. What is Chu Chong? That kid who ran away, is he still alive? He thought about the fact that back then, 2 years ago, the little guy had miraculously managed to escape. But his spiritual energy was negligible and he didn't think that he could pose a threat. Now, 2 years later, he was already a rank 8 master. The head thought to himself, who cares? Since they were hovering here today, they certainly wouldn't leave alive. He slyly said that it was fine that he was still alive here. He would arrange for him to meet his family today. Jianze asked shakily. They killed 137 people. He asked Head Lin, what does that mean? And the bank head said that he heard that the Chu family had moved out, but he didn't give it any importance. Yang Feng asked that in fact the Chu family was actually wiped out by the Lin family. They started shouting from the crowd that killing was forbidden in Tianwu, let alone mass murders like this. They should explain themselves. Lin Tao shouted that they, the Lin family, owed nothing to anyone. And the head said that the Chu family colluded with the criminals that intended to kill the princess. If they don't believe him, they can go to Xuanyuan. But Chu Chong shouted that it was a brazen lie. But Zhang Huang stopped him, saying that they would go in a different way. Zhang pointed 2 fingers and said fine. They admit they are involved. Now he gives them 2 options to choose from. 1. Have the guilty party commit suicide. 2. The entire Lin family will be exterminated. But Lin Tao laughed and said, they have rank 7 and 8. Do they seriously think they can do this? And Lin Roshan and laughed even louder. And Zhang looked at them intently, saying that he understood. They were not satisfied with any option. And the head replied to him that if he was so anxious to die, he would fulfill his wish right now. The second man standing next to Head Lin shouted that there was no need to waste time talking to him. Mo Yu said that it was the 11th elder of the Lin family, Lin Hu. The king added that he is quite fiery and his fists are notorious. With all this, he's also a rank 8 final stage master. He would not be easy to deal with. Meng Tao excitedly asked, would everything be all right with master? Xue King replied that she thought everything should be fine. Her father told them not to worry. Chairman Liu is much more powerful. He is capable of many things, not what you expect from a 7th rank master. The man thought about the fact that even though he hadn't seen him in action, they had worked together to create a rank 4 pill. In the face of the consequences of a possible explosion, the man did not hesitate at all. There was simply no way that such a person could be a rank 7 master. Someone said the battle was about to begin. Lin Hu rushed to attack, shouting for the guy to die. Lu Chong stood in front of the master, but the master put his hand on his shoulder, grimly telling him to rest. Zhang then rushed forward himself, which surprised the disciple. Zhang slammed his fist into the elder's stomach. The one flew backwards, slamming into the goal. Zhang Ji asked in surprise, was it really the 8th-ranked final stage master of the 8th stage that was sent flying with just 1 strike? The bank chief asked, how did this happen? Mo Yu thought in surprise that he had only made a breakthrough to the initial stage of the 7th rank just a couple days ago, and now he was able to knock out an opponent of the final stage of the 8th rank. How did he train after all? Meanwhile, Lu Cheng thought about the fact that the master had just told him today that he should find the weakness of the enemy, not throw himself into the embrasure. So, where is the demonstration of this? Where are the weaknesses? As he approached Elder Lin Hu, the head thought to himself that he had not expected Lin Hu to quit so soon. His spiritual core had been shattered. Lin Hu was far from the weakest fighter in their family. To take him out of the game with a single blow was quite ruthless. Lin Roshan glared furiously at Zhang, saying that he still seemed to have some skills. It was not at all surprising that the latter was so arrogant. However, to be so arrogant and dare to go against the Lin family, he should put him in his place, Zhang asked gloomily. The one still couldn't choose between the two. It's even easier that way. Releasing his power, Zhang said as he beat the answer out of them. The crowd shockedly asked that he had an 8th rank peak. Shu King also asked that the master actually had an 8th rank peak. Father told her that it was not surprising at all then. With that kind of strength, he could very well challenge the Lin family. Mo Yu dumbfoundedly thought about the fact that he had made a breakthrough just a few days ago, and he had managed to peak in such a short time. It takes a long time to evolve to the 8th rank. Even if one was a genius, it would take several years for him to peak if he was at the initial stage. And this is just a few days. Zhao Yao thought in surprise that Master Liu has an 8th rank peak. Is he much stronger than Master Zhang? When he stopped her, she had already realized then that he was not a weak master at all. But who would have thought that he would be so strong? Another master of the Lin family rushed at Zhang, shouting that he was not weak at all, but it was still not enough to be so arrogant. When the man was already close to Zhang, the guy quickly dodged. Zhang raised his foot, preparing to strike. In the next instant, the guy hit the man between the legs. Everyone went into shock. Lu Chong thought about that gimmick again. Did Wang Ying realize that this was a heavenly Dao technique? It's the technique Master Zhang taught her. How did Master Liu know it? Zhao Yao asked her worried friend what happened. Did she say something? Wang Yin replied that no, nothing. While thinking to herself that Master Liu was moving too fast, it might just be a similar technique. She couldn't say for sure yet. Lin Rotian got even angrier, shouting that this was an unfair battle. He is shameless. Let him not be conceited. The head pointed his hand at the boy, ordering him to take him. The soldiers immediately rushed forward. Zhang irritatedly said that since the latter had made such a decision after all, he could now act. Almost imperceptibly, Zhang kicked each soldier with his feet, knocking them back. At the same time, he headed forward. Wang Yin covered her mouth with her hand, shocked at the thought of it being a heavenly strike. She couldn't tell for sure before, but now she was absolutely sure that it was this technique. But how could Master Liu know about the technique that Master Zhang had created? But then she realized that as soon as Master Zhang went to train, Master Liu appeared. Since then, as soon as Master Zhang appeared, there was no trace of Master Liu. Earlier, it was said that ESU was going to undergo a test from the Grand Master Hall. Could it be that his assignment was to create a different personality and go to teach? But after that, the girl felt very awkward because she realized that it meant that Mu Shuiqing was also his disciple. If Master Liu is Master Zhang, then they were trying to poison him. This is unforgivable. How could it even be called that? But in the meantime, Lin Ruotian's eyes glowed white. A sphere of his strength appeared around the man. He shouted that Liu Cheng was finished. The king said in surprise as his life force came into motion and spiritual energy was released. This is a breakthrough to the 9th rank. But then the king's face turned serious because he thought that Lin Ruotian was mainly relying on his connections with Xuanyuan to be able to make a breakthrough. His strength was unstable, and he believed that one would not be a problem. However, his strength surpassed that of other rank 9 practitioners, so it was obvious that the one could make a breakthrough at any time. The king was angry, thinking that with Xuanyuan's support and rank 9 strength, it was no wonder that he preferred to act from the shadows, like in that situation with the poisoning of the lion. All of this is to confuse them. He fears that his true goal is to ensure his dominance once he reaches rank 9, so that no one can stop him anymore. Zhang noticed that the crowd was agitated. The king kept thinking that if it wasn't for Representative Liu and Lin Ruotian's conflict, they would never have known this secret. They were too naive to think that as long as the divine beast was alive, those would not dare to oppose the royal family. But Master Liu probably wouldn't be able to deal with him. Should they help? And Zhang thought to himself in surprise that this wasn't bad. He had managed to make a breakthrough to the 8th rank with a strength of 5,000 ding, which was almost equal to the strength of the 9th rank. But the difference in their strength was still astonishing. Even though he possesses the Eye of Insight and can see his opponent's weaknesses, he's still stronger than him and there's nothing he can do about it. The boy closed his eyes, deciding it would be best to utilize the knowledge from the Library of the Heavenly Path. Zhang learned that he was only able to make a breakthrough so quickly because he had accepted the blood of a divine beast. The strength of even the weakest divine beasts exceeds that of a rank 8 divine beast. Just a single drop of blood was enough for the body of the person or animal that took it to begin to rebuild and prepare to make a breakthrough to rank 8. Zhang opened his eyes and furrowed his brows, thinking that even though his Heaven's Path techniques were quite effective in close combat, but in this case, they would all be useless. Throwing himself at the guy, Lin Roshan shouted for him to die. As he dodged, Zhang thought about the fact that, moreover, since he had divine beast blood flowing in his body, his defense would be just as strengthened. It wouldn't be easy. Folding his hands behind his back, Zhang continued to dodge, deciding that he just needed to wear the head down. Since he had triggered the release of such power, Zhang didn't believe that he would be able to hold out for long. When the head's strength diminished, he irritatedly said that he had assumed that Zhang would not be able to withstand the breakthrough of his furious attacks. Who would have thought that this guy would choose such tactics? It's as if he can see through him and predict his every move. He blocks his punches at the very last moment. Mo Yu excitedly asked, could this really be called a battle? But the king and princess looked at Principal ZB in surprise when he said that it was as if Master Liu was reading Lin Roshan's every move and not even letting him finish them. The director thought of anticipating his actions by moving to a safe place in advance, thus only angering him without giving him a chance. How does he manage to do that? Not even every third-ranked grandmaster could do such a thing. Lin Roshan became angry again, asking if the man would even fight or not. But Zhang calmly asked, what are they doing now? The one is attacking, the one is dodging. They are constantly on the move after all. Isn't this a battle? Pulling out his sword, the leader told the man to try out his weapon. Zhang looked at him questioningly, then gave a sly grin saying that was fine. He turned to Zhao Yao shouting for her to give the blade. The girl asked in surprise, why is Master Liu asking her for a blade? But afterward he said that since they were here to help him, it didn't matter. The girl took her blade out of her bracelet and threw it to the master. Thoth easily grabbed it by the hilt. After that he rushed into battle with a smile. Lin Roshan was already close to the guy. Zhang made a circle around himself, forming a large number of blades. Putting his blade forward, Zhang attacked. The head only had to dodge. While defending with his blade, the head thought about how this aura even surpassed the true essence. The head of the bank said in surprise that these blades resonate. Is this a skill that surpasses the true essence of blade wielding, the spirit of the blade? Zhang Jie was also surprised, asking how Master Liu managed to do this, but then the men looked shocked at Representative Zhang, who said that it wasn't a blade spirit. The man explained that the blade spirit is divided into 3 boundaries, upper, middle, and lower, depending on the skill and perception of the master. At the lower boundary, the master is able to summon the spirit of the blade, which will become an extension of his body. Even though Master Liu has summoned dozens of swords, but he is only using the spiritual energy of the blade itself, he still hasn't mastered it completely. Master Guan looked at the head in surprise. He said, this is only half of it. Looking at Zhang, who continued to use the technique, the head said that the guy understood the true essence of the blade, but his skills still didn't allow him to use it to its full potential. Once his spiritual power is fully developed, he will be able to fully comprehend the true essence and develop his power to the maximum. Then he fears he will be unrivaled. Jiang Shu thought about how even so, but he had managed to reach such a level. How is this possible? And Zhao Yao thought about the fact that this aura is familiar to her. The style that Master Liu is using is a lot different from her Heaven's Path style. But this is definitely a Heaven's Path aura. She looked at Wang Yin, a question on her face. Was it their teacher? Wang Yin nodded awkwardly. Swinging the blade again, Zhang said, the decision to use the weapon may have been the most reckless. Lin Roshan was able to dodge, but he thought about the fact that a moment ago he'd been doing nothing but dodging. But now the bastard was attacking without sparing any effort. The director said that it was strange. When it came to close combat, Master Liu would always dodge. But now it was as if they had switched places. Zhao Yao said that the Lin family is famous for their swordsmanship skills. Everyone in the kingdom knows about it. But what's going on? The principal said that it's not that Mr. Lin is weak, it's just that Chairman Liu is too strong. Under normal circumstances, even if he had comprehended the true essence of the blade and the soul of the blade, but with rank 8 strength, it is impossible to continuously use the spirit of the sword for such attacks. Everything has its own limit. The bigger and more active the attacks are, the more true ki is absorbed. But Zhang kept going, enveloping himself in a golden light. The principal said that after so many lunges, his aura was still bright and strong. Mr. Lin can't even strike back. This can only mean that either his aura is incredibly saturated or incredibly pure. Director CAB said that only after developing the aura to a certain level can it be used without fear of exhaustion. And only after reaching a certain level of aura purification are the blades able to reach a target at such a distance while maintaining strength and speed. Zhang, rushing to attack, said to Mr. Lin, he decided to use the weapon himself, didn't he? So why doesn't he attack? The head was shocked at what he heard, and his mouth was bleeding. Fixated, the man thought about his blades flying everywhere. He doesn't even have the ability to defend himself properly. How can he attack? Need to end this. The man turned to Master Liao and Healer Master, saying that it was time to act. If they poisoned this man, he would agree to all their conditions and do even more. The king and the others were shocked that the head of the Liao Poison Hall and the Healer Master were here. Jiang Shu wondered in surprise. What did they want to poison? Was it really the Red Lotus Healer Master and the head of the Poison Hall, Liao Shun? The boy stepped forward, saying fine, he would remember his words. Then he told the elder to leave it to him. Mo Yu excitedly said that the Poison Hall Master, a smaller in measure, is a second-rank poison master. If he takes the case, she fears not only the 8th-ranked experts will suffer, but the 9th-ranked experts will also have a hard time. What should we do? Mo Tianxue said irritably. Who would have thought that the Lin family would decide to use poisons this time? Master Guan asked the head what should they do. Jiang Shu replied that they should help Master Zhang. If the poison master really decided to act, he would immediately petition the association to have them deal with the Red Lotus. Meanwhile, Lian Xun asked Zhang that his name is Liu Cheng, right? He has to admit that he is impressed. But unfortunately they are on opposite sides today. And Lin Roqian yelled once to stop talking and killed him faster. And Zhang asked the healer master with a chuckle, now that he wasn't burdened by the terms of the contract. Did he have enough courage to bring Mr. Liao here and wreak havoc? The elder shockedly asked, what is the contract? And Liao Xun covered his hand with purple fire and said with a smile, he even knows about the contract. He is perfectly aware of it. The old man thought about the fact that only a few people know about it, but Zhang is currently in disguise. Could it be that Chairman Liu is really Master Zhang? No wonder, and he kept guessing. How could a certain genius doctor appear so suddenly in a city with a specialist like him? Liao Xun rushed at the guy. That even if the guy was familiar with Mr. Healer, it didn't change the point. But the healer-san grabbed the guy's arm, asking him to stop. The head of the poison hall asked irritably, what is he doing? With terror in his eyes, the old man mentally told the guy that there was no need. He is Master Zhang. Liao Xun shockedly looked at the guy, then at the elder, and asked if the latter was also sure. The one replied that he was more than sure. Zhang asked again with a chuckle, what was it? Was it really possible to tame the beast? And Lin Roqian shouted at them not to listen to this nonsense and just get it over with. Unable to bear it, Liao Xuan swung his hand, directing the poison at the man, shouting for him to shut up already. The man was confused, not sure what to say. He only had time to cover himself with his arms as the venom cores exploded. When he opened his eyes, he saw that Liao Xun was already beside him, about to strike with his fist. The man wanted to say something to Master Liao, but the guy yelled for him to stop calling his name. He didn't know anything. After that, he hit him. While beating the man, the guy thought about the fact that if he stood up to the Grandmaster, he might not only lose his job but his life as well. All because of that bastard. He would beat him to death. Only then would he feel better. The guy shouted that he would be doing the world a favor by destroying him. Everyone present was awkwardly wondering what was even going on. Aren't these Mr. Lin's comrades? I thought he said he wanted to poison Chairman Liu. So why has he abruptly switched sides and is now pounding Roshan Lin? Ah Zhang was also surprised, thinking about how cruel this man was. He poisoned his opponent by blocking his strength, and now he's just beating him up. But if he just kills him like this, how will he then? Zhang told the guy that that was enough. He immediately stood up and bowed, and then mentally said that he apologized for being so rude. He didn't realize that it was him. Zhang told him to stop talking nonsense and let him step aside. The boy bowed low again, obeying. Mu Shui King thought about the fact that she was almost certain that Master Lu would be defeated in this battle, and that's why she called out the elders. But they too are just standing there with their mouths hanging open, and Master Lu has already dealt with everyone. And this Poison Hall Master, there are such terrible rumors about him. So why did he suddenly become so quiet and peaceful when he saw the Master? Lin Roqian sat on the ground with his head down, but he gloomily said that Liu Cheng had forced him, taking out a red jade with lightning and starting to activate it. The man said that he didn't want to use this as it would cost him a lot. But the man left him no choice. Like a madman, the man slammed Jade to the ground, shouting that he would die here and now. A red dome covered the entire neighborhood. Jiang Shu shockingly asked, what was this deadly third-rank peak formation that Princess Lin Lun had left behind? The king frightenedly said that it was a death formation that the princess had ordered from the Xuanyuan spellcasters to prevent the destruction of the Lin family. Laughing like a madman, Lin Roqian said that they were all finished now. They dared to go against the Lin family. They are all suicidal. Lin Roqian shouted, asking, they are all here to watch a show, right? The show where they destroy the Lin family. Let them dream. Since they are here, he will destroy them all in one fell swoop, Yanfeng said fearfully. The Lin family has trump cards up their sleeve. No wonder the royal family never once dared to go against them. The bank director agreed, and then asked Chairman Jiang Yu that he was familiar with formations, after all. Would he help them get out of here? Jiang Shu replied that he didn't have any options. Magic fields of this level were beyond his expertise. The men sadly said that they were finished. Lin Roqian laughed again, telling them not to even think about getting out of here. Only a third-rank caster could do that. But Zhang asked unhappily, what is the spell or the third rank? He doesn't think so. The guy stomped his foot. In the next instant, the entire dome cracked. Shards flew down. Lin Roqian thought about the fact that even a fourth-ranked caster wouldn't be able to destroy it with such ease. How did he manage it? He remembered that Elder Lin had once mentioned that Chairman Liu was capable of destroying information. But back then, They had concluded that he was probably just familiar with the formation in which the golden-tailed lion was imprisoned. But what about this information? Even without knowing the details, he was only able to activate it because he understands the basics of how it functions. But doctor, someone who is completely ignorant of such matters. How is that possible? Alchemist Mu was shocked but asked that the formation was destroyed. Jianji asked that is it really just one step? Zhang Shu thought that even 9th rank practitioners were not capable of destroying such a formation in such a short time with just one move. A calligraphy master, an alchemist, a beast tamer, a master, a doctor, and a spellcaster as well. Who would even be able to do such a thing? The king asked, what guy is capable of destroying this kind of information with just one move? Mo Yu thought about how it was definitely not a coincidence. Looking at the gate, Lin Roshan thought that he must inform Xuanyuan about this. Otherwise, the Lin family would definitely be destroyed. Rushing to the gate, the man shouted that it was time to leave. He grabbed the round lever and spun it. An array of thick fog covered the area of the entire estate. But Zhang Huang asked, what was the one going to run away without apologizing? He had already said he wouldn't leave him until he apologized. The teacher told Lu Chun to follow him. Zhang took a step with his foot. The fog immediately dissipated. The healer San asked the head of the poison hall what they should do now. It looked like they weren't being released here. The boy looked at the angry faces of the men. Rushing towards the gate, Liao Xuan shouted that he was coming soon. The elder rushed after him, saying that he was coming with him. The king said that it seemed to be the end for the Lin family. Director CB agreed with him. The bank director said that when they heard from the kids that Master Liu had decided to fight the Lin family, they came here to admonish him that it wasn't a good idea. But it's ridiculous to even think about it now. Mu Xueqing thought about destroying the 3rd rank formation in just one step, leaving not the slightest step for such a powerful family. Such a martial spirit. Without putting in any effort, dealt with practitioners, should have largely surpassed his own. This is her teacher. The girl looked at Zhao Yao and thought that Master Zhang might be a great person, but her Master Liu was capable of something similar. Such blade techniques, defeating rank 8 and 9 practitioners, and destroying rank 3 information with just one strike. Zhao Yao noticed the girl's gaze, and thought about the fact that she had to admit that Master Liu is strong. But Master Zhang is no worse. The girl unleashed her power, revealing that she was of the middle stage of rank 8. Mu Xueqing shockingly thought about the fact that wasn't that one at rank 6 just a couple days ago. How did she manage to overcome 2 ranks in such a short time? Was it really all Master Zhang's doing? The girl sighed, thinking about the fact that she was dissatisfied with their second fight, and thought that she could easily overpower her, barely reaching rank 7. But who would have thought someone could become that much stronger? Now that one was much stronger than her. She even skipped the 7th rank and immediately reached the middle of the 8th rank. How is she supposed to defeat her? The bank director asked his son that she was at rank 6 just a couple days ago, right? Was Grandmaster Zhang such a great teacher that his students could become so strong in a couple of days? Meng Tao replied that indeed, and that Lu Chang boy is also the same. Master Liu had only known him for a couple days, but he had already managed to reach the mid-8th rank. People were discussing, how did he manage it in just a couple of days? It seems like Chairman Liu and Grandmaster Zhang are simply geniuses. They are both incredibly strong. Someone said that he was more amazed by Chairman Liu. In just 5 days, he managed to make a disciple so strong, and what's more, his skills are simply amazing. They were just able to observe it with their own eyes. As for Grandmaster Zhang, he thinks that he is only at the beginning stage of the 8th rank. The others said that he thinks Grandmaster Zhang is stronger. He has accomplished so much, a true genius. He's also young and still has a long way to go. Running away, Lin Ruoshan thought about the one catching up. As he approached the sign, the man thought about the fact that he needed Lunar. Placing his hand on the stove, he activated it. He said that Liu Cheng, the royal family, and everyone else would pay for it. A man wrote on the sign that Liu Cheng wants to destroy the Lin family. Her father and brother are badly injured. That's when he heard an explosion from his back. The man asked, what the hell? Why isn't any formation working? How is this possible? Zhang and the others appeared on the doorstep. The guys said that they weren't done after all. So why is the guy running away? The man laughed, asking if the man would dare to kill him. He had already informed the princess. Her men would be here any minute now. If he even laid a finger on him, not only would he be killed, but the entire Tianwu kingdom would be destroyed. Zhang asked calmly. What the man meant to say was that as long as they didn't touch him, the princess wouldn't do anything to them. Zhang said that was enough chatter. In any case, there is already poison circulating in his body, and he had temporarily sealed his powers. Now it's only up to the guy to decide what to do with him. Once finished, let him find him in the academy. Lin Roshan was indignant. Walking out, Zhang ordered Liao Xun to stay here and help Lu Chun. The boy bowed. The man told him not to be so smug, but then shouted fearfully to Lu Chun as if he would not approach. Stepping outside again, Zhang thanked everyone for coming to his rescue. They replied to him that it wasn't necessary. There was no need for these formalities. They hadn't even done anything. Zhang said that he was very grateful to them all for their willingness and desire to help him. In the future, he would personally give them instructions as a thank you. Everyone was surprised by this. They said that it was simply unbelievable. Even though Chairman Liu may not be a renowned master, but he is a rank 8 expert who has managed to reach the Soul Blade. Having the opportunity to listen to his lectures is like having the opportunity to become stronger. Lu Chong came to the master thinking that he was able to get revenge, and it was all only because of the teacher. He had finally found a reason to move on with his life. After bowing to the teacher, he asked the master to accept his thanks. Zhang told him to get up. Zhang added that the latter could now tell him why the Lin family had destroyed his family. The guy said that as the teacher had already realized, the Lin family did this to his family not because of that incident, but because of their family value. Zhang looked at the guy in surprise. He explained that it was a volume of ancestral scripture. The teacher asked why the Lin family needed it. The fellow replied that it wasn't that the relic was of great value, but that there were notes there made by Master Confucius himself. Zhang asked, "Is this outstanding Master Confucius the founder of the Hall of Masters?" He thought to himself unsurprisingly. The records he himself left behind are priceless. It turns out that Lu Chun's family possessed a similar value. If this information is revealed, not to mention the crazy Lin family he feared, the entire Xuanyuan kingdom would rush after him. Zhang asked the guy that his ancestors knew Confucius. The fellow replied that he did not know in such detail. He had never even seen those writings. Only his father had mentioned something about them. Lu Chong added that these scriptures were not in the house. They were safely hidden in the mountains. If Master wished, he could retrieve them for him. Zhang replied with a smile that there was no need. Even though they were priceless, he didn't need them. He thought about how it was an incredible thing, however. Could it be compared to the golden page of the heavenly path? These scriptures might have incredible value, but they would not help him in any way to refine his strength, so they were useless to him. Moreover, they belonged to his disciple. It was because of them that his family was destroyed. He has no desire or meaning to fight his disciple. Lu Chong bowed again, apologizing for not thinking his words through. The boy thought about the fact that the master had done so much for him, but it wasn't all for some writings. And his words sounded as if he suspected him of being disinterested in his actions. Zhang asked what the guy decided to do to the head of the Lin family. The guy replied that he didn't kill him. He added that Master Liao had helped him finally seal his powers. He had to carry out his revenge, but he clearly realized that death would be too easy an outcome for him. Zhang grinned and thought about what he had to say, that he had grown incredibly during this incident. Before, the latter could only think of revenge. If he had just killed him, that would have been too lenient. But now, by depriving the head of his powers, he made him suffer. That's much worse than death. Just then, the guy took out something from his pocket, saying that he had taken it from the Lin family. Zhang realized that it was a spatial ring. Zhang told the student to put it down on the table. Today had been an incredibly busy day. The guy needed to rest. After that, Lu Chong left. As soon as the door closed, Zhang happily walked over to the ring and picked it up, thinking that now he would see what was interesting. It wasn't that he liked taking other people's things, but as far as the Lin family was concerned, he didn't feel any guilt. Looking into the ring, he saw a lot of riches. He said that as expected from this family, there was a lot of stuff. Here he found a box with a large number of spirit stones in it. He said that with so many spirit stones, it would not be a problem to reach the 9th rank. Opening the chest, he decided to see if there were any useful books in there. He took one out, reading that they were methods of feeding on spiritual blood. He said that there were rare books on the guide to reaching rank 9 in there. May 10 wouldn't be enough for him, but it was still better than nothing. Then he looked in the other direction, asking, "What is it?" He thought it was a jug that was made of spiritual jade. After opening the jug, he learned with the help of the library that it was a jug of both spiritual jade and the work of the 7 masters of his craft. Prevents blood spoilage and the weathering of divine aura. Contains 2 drops of the blood of a divine beast of the 1st rank, an armored dragon. Zhang realized that it was related to the book's spiritual blood-feeding methods. He was curious to see if he could combine it with the cultivation methods from the royal family's book depository. After a small amount of time, he succeeded in creating a golden book. Opening it up, Zhang said that physical development and spiritual practices could help a person develop their abilities to the 3rd level or slightly higher. But breaking through to higher ranks would be problematic. But spiritual blood could make a person's body as strong as that of a divine beast. Holding the book in his hands, he said it was also of the body, so he would call it Heaven's Way Body Strengthening Practices. Part 2. When it worked, he pulled drops of blood from the jug as well, and decided to try it right away. He began to apply some spiritual blood to the cultivation points, absorbing the power it contained, strengthening his body. If everything went well, he would become much stronger. After a small amount of time, he was able to successfully complete the Heaven's Path body strengthening practices. Looking at his hand, he thought happily to himself that everything had gone just perfectly. As he stepped out into the courtyard against the wall, he realized that now was the time to test the power he had gained. The guy threw a punch and a crack went down the wall. The value of 9,999 din popped up on the wall. He asked in surprise that it was practically 10,000. Zhang thought about how it was a pity that there were only 2 drops of spirit blood. If there were more, he would have been able to make a breakthrough to the peak 9th rank. Zhang speculated that maybe the other students had some enemies that needed to be massacred. Then he would be able to obtain more spirit stones. Master's son walked up to him from behind. The boy looked at him and asked if he was feeling better already. The principal thanked him for his help, and then said that the man should have known that his tea had been poisoned. Zhang awkwardly replied that actually, he only realized it after everything that happened. In other words, he too is a victim. He assumes that this poison was meant for him, but he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Don't let him worry. He's gonna find out who did it anyway. Together they'll get justice. Mo Hongyi unhappily thought to himself, what the hell is that victim? He's the only one here who got hurt. Zhang asked, what's wrong? The prince replied that there was no need to find out anything. He was poisoned by his favorite disciples. Zhang asked in confusion, what disciples? Hongyi said to Zheng Yang, Yuan Tao and company. He saw this one with his own eyes. Zhang angrily shouted that they were rascals. He wouldn't be Zhang Huan if he didn't give them a good beating after this. Meanwhile, Zheng Yang sneezed, and Yuan Tao happily told Zhao Yao that it was so cool. Everyone stood there with their mouths open. Yang Li added that after something like this, no one would dare to underestimate their master. Even if this Master Liu is quite strong, but he still needed the help of the head of the poison hall to win this fight. Yuan Tao continued that if he were in her shoes, at the time when everyone was discussing who was the tougher master, he would have challenged Mu Xueqing and taught her a lesson in front of everyone. But Zhao Yao sadly said that she thought that right now, it was better for them to reflect on what kind of punishment they would suffer. Yuan Tao asked in bewilderment, what is she talking about? Zhao Yao told Wang Yin that she thought it was better for her to explain everything to them. She would think about the best way for them to apologize to the master in the meantime. The guys looked at Wang Yin and asked what was going on. The girl replied that they suspected that Master Liu was Master Zhang. The guys shocked exclaimed, is it the same person? Wang Ying said yes. The techniques that he used in the battle with the Lin family were exactly the techniques that he had taught her. She was sure of it. And when that one received the blade from Zhao Yao, he used the Heaven's Path technique. And the way he treated them, Zheng Yang asked his friend fearfully, Master Liu is Master Zhang. Yuan Tao said, didn't they try to poison him? After all, they even cursed him. Yuan Tao awkwardly suggested, why don't they just pretend like they don't know about it? They would go to Tianwu Academy and apologize. The other two agreed to this, deciding that they would go together. But then there was a ringing sound behind their backs. Wang Yin asked in surprise, what is that bell? Zhao Yao said that it was from the Hall of Masters. Promises the masters and obliges them to appear. Something serious has happened. Rushing to run, the girl said that she had to go there. If the master is in Wancheng, he should definitely be there. Meanwhile, the king said that it was a call from the Hall of Masters. Mo Yu added that she should go and find out what was going on. Hong Yi told Zhang that they were being called. We need to grab some disciples too. Zhang agreed with him. Zhang Cheng ran over to Deputy Guan asking, what happened? Why did the association send 4-star masters to them? The man replied that he didn't understand yet either. Zhang Cheng said that the head should be able to handle it, right? 4-star Master Su Fan and 4-star Master Lin Yuheng were in one of the halls. The first one told the head that they already knew about it. The second asked if Master Yang was still in Wancheng. Could they pay him a visit? Zhang Shu replied that he was in the city, however. They were always at home. And if they wanted to visit him, he should warn him in advance. Meanwhile, it was reported from the street that Master Sun, Master Lin, Master Zhang, and Mo Hongyi had arrived. They are in the examination room. It seems like they want to finish their appraisals early. Zhang Shu asked in surprise, what did those want to finish in advance? But it had only been a few days, right? Had they already managed to win the favor of the students in 40%? Ling Yuhang asked, is Zhang Huang here? The head replied that yes, he is. Su Fan said that was great. They would just like to see what progress Master Yang has made. Lin Yuhang said that he thought it was a good idea. However, if those people found out that they were 4-star masters, it might affect the result because of such news. Therefore, they will ask the head not to tell anyone about it. After they see the results, they will decide what to do. Everyone gathered in the Master Hall. The crowd was discussing Master Lu and Master Sun who had entered. Someone asked that Master Sun had only been at the academy for a few days, right? He was told that yes. His lectures are really very useful. One and his friends are attending his classes. He has managed to become stronger before such a short period of time. Another asked that if only these two are here, does it mean that the Hall of Masters approved them as an exception to the rules? The first replied that he hadn't heard of anything like that. Perhaps some sort of privilege. Someone asked why their students were with them then. Zhang Shu asked the teachers, who would like to go first? Zhang said with a smile to Master Sun, something skipping ahead of him. The man told his students to show everything they could do. Mo Yu asked in surprise that is Liu Cheng really Zhang Huang along with him two-star Master Mo Hong Yi. Watching the two students climb the stairs, the crowd asked that isn't the exam to measure the level of disposition. Do they really want to take the exam beforehand? But not one of them has reached the mental state of comprehension yet, right? They'll see what happens. On the wall, the result 42 popped up. Mo Hong Yi exhaled, thinking about the fact that he had passed. He would finally become a two-star master. There could be no doubt this time. Su Fan mentally told his friend that this was the result in just 10 days. Lin Yuhang replied that this Mo Hong Yi definitely has potential. He could be called a kind of genius. Even in the Fenhao realm, he would be able to rank up with the renowned masters. However, he still has a long way to go before he reaches the alliance level. Zhang Shu told Master Liu that he was now. The guy asked the head that it takes the loyalty of at least one disciple to reach 40%, right? He replied that yes. Zhang thought that considering what they had gone through the past couple of days, their loyalty should have already reached the 40% mark. Only need 40 and the exam would be successfully passed. Zhang Huang told Meng Tao to get going. He thought about how it was better to start small. Su Fan mentally asked, is this really Zhang Huang? He looks quite confident. They would see what his disciples would show. Lin Yuhang said that about 20 years ago, their guild used the same method to test the qualifications of aspiring two-star master titles. If he was not mistaken, the apprentice of the most talented master had reached the highest mark of 65%. Su Fang said with a smile that the same level of loyalty people show to their relatives. To achieve such results in just 10 days without revealing your instinctive identity, there are a lot of real geniuses here. Lin Yuhang said that this Zhang Huang has broken many existing records. They would see if he could break the 65% mark. Su Fan said that only those who were able to break the record would have the right to stand in line with the great masters. The number 62 popped up on the wall. Su Fang mentally said that it was not bad. Lin Yuhang replied that 62% was an impressive result. However, it doesn't reach that great result, still weaker. Zhang asked what he passed, right? Zhang Shu said that it was correct, and then asked that aren't his better students Mu Shueqing and Lu Chang. Zhang was confused, but Lu Chang told the master that he wanted to give it a try. Zhang thought about how he just wanted to pass the exam, but they were insisting. After all, he just wanted to keep his major trump cards hidden. The guy said it best, so he should be careful. Lu Chano opened the gate and walked inside. Su Fan mentally asked Chairman Zhang why he had decided to summon this disciple. Would his confidence level be higher? But the man smilingly replied for them to just watch. The number 99 popped up on the wall. Su Fan thought shockedly, how could this be possible? Ling Yuhang thought that this was absolute devotion. He is even willing to sacrifice himself for the master. The man recalled that the maximum mark was 100%. Only 6-star masters were able to reach 90. This was a direct proof that a disciple was so devoted to his master that he was willing to die at his command. Su Fan realized that they really thought that his strength was inferior to those geniuses. But who would have thought that he just didn't want to send his best disciple? Not to mention the others. Even they, the ones who had been God with their disciples for 30 years, had never reached this level. And it only took him 6 days. What kind of monster is this? Everyone in the audience was surprised to see so much. Someone asked, how could he be called an ordinary master after that? Even the most outstanding masters aren't capable of something like this, right? Jiang Shu thought there with a smile, which was as expected. He said that since everyone had successfully passed the exam, they wouldn't waste each other's time anymore. He told the boys that the two of them could return to their true guises. When those took off their masks, everyone saw that it was Master Mo and Master Zhang. Someone exclaimed that it was Master Zhang Huang. Chairman Liu is Master Zhang. No wonder it was very strange that two geniuses appeared in the kingdom at the same time. It turns out that it's all one person. Yan Feng said that he had admired 2 people in his life, and as it turned out it was one. Master Liu's disciples were surprised to realize that it was Master Zhang. Mu Shueqing awkwardly thought that they had dreamed of being taught by Zhang Huang before, but realized that it was impossible. Who could have known that it was the same person all this time? If they had found out earlier, then there would be no point for him and Zhao Yao to fight. Zhao Yao also felt uncomfortable waiting for this, and Yuan Tao tearfully hugged his friend, asking what should they do now. Now the master would abandon them. Zheng Yang said that he would also like to know what they should do now. And Wang Yin tearfully thought that she was very guilty. She would never go along with those two again and make such a terrible mistake. The king is shocked but asked that Chairman Liu is Master Zhang. The princess looked at him awkwardly. The man sighed, thinking about the fact that he originally thought that Master Lu had more prospects than Master Zhang, and wanted his daughter to have more contact with him specifically so that he could have a wonderful son-in-law in the future. But now, it looks like his dreams are over. Zhang Shu handed the guys tokens that had 2 stars on them. The man told them that they had both passed the exam. All that remained was to complete the recognition ceremony. In addition, they will have to familiarize themselves with their new rights and responsibilities. So let them change their clothes and come to the Fengshu Hall. And Zhang happily thought that finally. When they came to the Fengshu Hall, Zhang saw the statue, and he recognized that old man. The guy asked unhappily, "Who is this shameless old man, the previous chairman, who even put up a statue of such a person?" All the masters were shocked at the words they heard. Lin Yuhang shouted at him, asking how dare he. Doesn't he know who it is? The guy replied that whoever it was had unexpectedly snuck up on him. And then the guy grudgingly asked, "Who are they? Where did they come from?" and following them around. Stopping his angry comrade, Su Fan told Master Zhang to wait. He and Master Lin had arrived from afar. It was just that Chairman Zhang had not had time to introduce them to him yet. Zhang waved his hand, saying that he would forgive them this time. The men were surprised again, but then Lin Yuhang cleared his throat and calmly said that he realized that he had been somewhat rude, but he would introduce it to him now, and then he would understand why he acted like that. This is the Fengshu Hall. Masters can receive insignia, but only the memory of the 9-star instructors remains here forever. And this man was given an entire statue. Does he still not understand what he's getting at? Zhang asked, shocked. Only 9-star instructors, really? The man replied that this was correct. He is the one whom everyone honors, and since he has become a master, he should respect him, Master Confucius. Zhang Huang realized that he was referring to his writings to find a way to cure an incurable disease, and he just told him to his face that he refused to be his disciple. The boy fell on his knees in front of the statue, telling Master Confucius that he agreed. Let him accept him sooner rather than later. Zhang drenched himself in tears, thinking about the fact that this old man hadn't even introduced himself back then. How could he know who he was? If he had known it was Master Confucius, he would have immediately accepted his offer without any hesitation. The men awkwardly wondered if anyone was serious. Su Fan mentally asked the chairman that wasn't he. He replied that judging from the expression on his face in this performance, no. Hong Yi said that Master Confucius has long since retired in the world, and it is just his statue, it will not answer him. Zhang awkwardly asked, "It is just a statue. Is it unconscious?" Walking into the hall, the guy thought about the fact that he had such a great opportunity to become a disciple of Master Confucius himself, and he had messed it up like this. Zhang Shu suggested exactly how to start. The man said that even though the two of them had successfully passed the exam, however, before they could receive their insignia, they had to be recognized by the other masters as well as the Fengshu Hall. Once they succeeded in this, as a reward, no special aura would come over them. That is, even if they don't have their master token with them, others will still recognize them by their aura. Zhang asked, surprised, what was it to succeed? Were there really those who could not get approval? Zhang Shu replied that, of course. Recognition is made by the ancestors. There are countless ancestor tablets in this hall, and each one contains a piece of the spirit of previous outstanding masters. Even if they can't swear or have no consciousness, they are still able to determine if they are qualified enough to become a master. The man added that they just have to kneel right there. If they get approval, the tablets will come in motion, and after that, an aura will descend upon them. The more ancestors that recognize them, the more concentrated that aura will be. It will also be an omen of what successes they can achieve in the future. Zhang asked seriously, what happens to those who are not recognized? Is their title of master revoked? Zhang Shu laughed and replied that of course not. Not getting recognized was a normal phenomenon. The plaques in this hall were given to the famous and talented masters in their lifetime. Only those who can really get their attention will receive recognition. Usually the probability of success for 1-star masters is less than 1%, while for 2-star masters it is no more than 10%. The boys looked at each other and said to the prince that these were depressing numbers. Zhang Shu said that for 3-star masters, it was 20%, 4-star masters 30%, and 5-star masters 70%. Only 6-star masters could be 100% sure of receiving recognition. But how many elders will approve a master is an individual matter. Lin Yuhang said that actually, the recognition of Fengshu Hall is actually a tribute. But the more masters recognize him, the more obvious his talent is, and the more likely his future successes are. One of the most famous geniuses of the International Alliance, Jiang Zijie, successfully passed the exam and became a 4-star master before he reached the age of 30. This story had become a kind of legend. He was recognized by 7 masters when he became a 2-star master. Zhang thought unhappily about the fact that even before he reached the age of 30, he had become a 4-star master. All the masters he knows are not young anymore. To be a 4-star master before 30, he must have incredible talent. According to the classification spelled out in the books, 1-star 3-star masters are rookie masters, 4-star 6-star masters are mid-rank masters, and 7-star 9-star masters are top-rank masters. There's an incredible gap between 3 and 4 stars. It's like the difference between rank 7 and 8. It's not something an ordinary person can do. In that case, Mo Hongyi's so-called genius is nothing compared to him. Han noticed Zhang Huang's strange gaze and thought about why he was looking at him with such an expression on his face. Zhang Shu said with a smile that they shouldn't worry so much. It would be great if they received recognition, but it wasn't that important. It had already been 300 years since someone had succeeded in their master hall. He hopes while he's chairman, at least one such master will appear. If that happens, he'll have a great reason to brag to the other chairman. Zhang awkwardly thought that he was obligated to get recognition, and it turns out that it doesn't matter much. All masters have their own tastes and preferences. Besides, they had already passed away a long time ago, so if he didn't get their recognition, it wouldn't be a big deal. Zhang Shu told Mo Hongyi that they would start with him. The guy was thinking about the fact that he didn't get recognized when he became a 1-star master. They'll see how it goes this time. Kneeling on the mat, the prince thought that if he succeeded, he could become famous.